In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro discusses the recent conflict between Israel and Iran, highlighting the retaliatory strike that Israel conducted in response to Iran's attack with 350 drones and missiles. He explains that Israel had various options to consider, including a full-scale attack on Iran's nuclear facilities or doing nothing, but ultimately decided on a targeted strike as a warning to Iran to deter further escalation. Shapiro emphasizes that Israel's targeted strike was a strategic decision aimed at showing Iran the consequences of further aggression. By demonstrating their capability to retaliate effectively, Israel sought to deter Iran from escalating the conflict. This approach was seen as a middle ground between a full-scale attack and doing nothing, providing a warning to Iran without risking a larger war. Shapiro criticizes the United Nations for its lack of action in condemning Iran's initial attack on Israel. He highlights the ineffectiveness of the UN Security Council in addressing conflicts in the Middle East and points out the hypocrisy of Iran lecturing Israel at the UN while engaging in aggressive military actions. The podcast discusses the Biden administration's response to the conflict, noting that the U.S. is considering new weapons deals for Israel to support its defense capabilities. Additionally, the White House is reportedly pushing for a historic deal to forge Saudi-Israeli ties, offering incentives such as defense relationships and assistance with civil nuclear power in exchange for a commitment to Palestinian statehood. Shapiro highlights Saudi Arabia's long-standing support for a Palestinian state as a priority in negotiations with Israel. However, Saudi officials have indicated a willingness to accept verbal assurances from Israel regarding future talks on Palestinian statehood as part of a broader diplomatic deal. This shift in stance suggests a potential compromise to secure normalization with Israel and other benefits from the U.S. The podcast underscores the importance of regional alliances in the Middle East, particularly in countering Iran's influence and aggression. By strengthening ties between Israel, Saudi Arabia, and other Sunni allies, the aim is to create a united front against Iran and its proxies. This approach is seen as a means to enhance security and deter further conflict in the region. Shapiro criticizes the Freedom Caucus in the Republican Party for their focus on internal party disputes, such as the motion to vacate the Speaker of the House. He points out the need for Republicans to focus on governance and foreign policy issues rather than internal party politics. He highlights the importance of holding the Biden administration accountable and advocating for American interests abroad. Shapiro addresses the media coverage of international events, such as the death of a terrorist in Israeli custody. He criticizes the media for portraying the terrorist as a victim without mentioning his crimes, such as the murder of a 19-year-old. He emphasizes the importance of accurate reporting and holding media outlets accountable for biased coverage. Shapiro is joined by Speaker of the House Mike Johnson to discuss various issues. Johnson highlights the importance of passing foreign aid bills in the House, emphasizing the need to support countries like Ukraine and Israel in the face of growing threats from Russia, China, and Iran. He explains that the bills include provisions for replenishing American weapons and facilities, which ultimately contribute to America's defense industrial base. Despite some controversy surrounding the aid packages, Johnson stresses the necessity of investing in strong allies to prevent direct American intervention in conflict zones. Johnson acknowledges the challenges of negotiating with Democrats in a divided government, where the Republicans hold a slim majority in the House. He points out that the Democrats are aware of the division within the Republican ranks, which weakens their negotiating position. Despite internal dissent within the party, Johnson emphasizes the importance of presenting a united front to address critical foreign policy issues effectively. The discussion also touches on the motion to vacate, a contentious issue within the Republican caucus. Johnson addresses the need to maintain stability and unity within the party to prevent chaos in the House, especially during an election season. He emphasizes the importance of keeping the majority in both chambers to counter potential Democratic actions such as impeachment and investigations in the event of a Republican presidential victory. Johnson underscores the significance of Republicans winning back the Senate and securing a larger majority in the House to enact meaningful legislative changes. He highlights the potential for Republicans to govern effectively and implement crucial policy reforms if they control all three branches of government. By emphasizing the need for a strong America on the foreign policy stage, Johnson advocates for a strategic and unified approach to address key national and international challenges.